Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beneath the Hollow Moon. You are listening to us live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans. You are with your co-hosts, Kerrilynn Shellhorn and Lorilei Potvin. And tonight, we are going, we're talking about body snatchers and what else are we talking about? Body snatchers, grave robbery, and the paranormal.
And the paranormal. Yeah, we got great. We were talking, and as it always happens when we have like a double kind of topic, we don't even say anything to each other. Just one sort of gravitates more to one and the other to the other. And that's kind of what happened. But you know what the creepy thing for me is, and I haven't quite finished watching it. There's that series out. Is it on one of the streaming services? I can't remember what one for sure, but with Ed Gein. The serial
Netflix.
He was okay. I thought that's what it was. He is a necrophiliac, grave robber.
Is it true though that he had those sorts of relations with corpses after? Was that part of the embellishments for the show? Because there was a lot of embellishments and things that were not necessarily true. So I didn't know if that was part of it.
Well, I know that when we talked about it off air and you had said a lot of people were saying it was embellished, I said, I have to agree, because as I've watched it, I go, well, how would you know he was thinking that? Or how would you know that he did this or he did that, right? But I believe, don't quote me on it unless somebody in the chat knows, I believe that some of the psychiatry and the professionals that worked with him, that he did admit to desecrating corpses in that way. Now, again, it's kind of like the game of telephone, because he's no longer alive. And plus, he definitely had some mental health issues. So how do you even know he's telling you the truth, right?
Did he pass in the 80s, in the early 80s?
Yeah, I think because I looked that up, because I was wondering, because I always get them mixed up in the beginning, not anymore, but with Ed Kempler, who's still alive. But, I looked it up when I started the series, like, when did he actually die? And I believe it was in 1982. So,
yeah, interesting.
The guy that plays him definitely did a good job. And then I kept looking at the woman that plays his mother, and I kept thinking, is that the sister from Roseanne?
Yes,
it is. She's such a good actress. She's had so many good roles. And remember, she just used to be, what was her name in Roseanne? She was the sister.
I don't remember. I think her real name is Lori, though, isn't
Lori,
it?
Lori, yeah. And I think she didn't do, I was thinking Young Sheldon. She didn't do Young Sheldon. That was Annie Potts. I've been on this Cesar Millan kick because it's free and streaming on YouTube. So I've been watching it. And as of late, what he's doing, he's built this beautiful dog psychology center that he's always had in his mind to create. But now what he does is he does walking with dogs. And he mainly has like comedians and actors and actresses. And he just had Annie Potts on with him. And she was the one that played the grandma in Young Sheldon.
Oh, I've actually not watched Young Sheldon.
Oh, I saw a bit of it. I didn't see much. Okay, Michelle Pratt, you were saying what's going on with YouTube. Why don't we say hi to everybody? I hope YouTube's working okay. Is it not working?
The only notification we got was Roku.
Yeah, but I'll check once we get rolling here. So how about I highlight and you say hi? Does that sound good?
For sure.
Okay.
Hello, Mort. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank you.
Batgirl84, hi all.
She put in big letters for us.
Hello. Kathy, thank you so much for being here. She's saying good evening, everyone. Carrie Fast.
Yes,
hello.
Carrie Fast. Hi. And look who we got.
Hi, Wiz is in the house. Wiz. Hi, James.
Hi, James.
Benno from Oz, 1975. Exactly. Do you want me to make the sound? I'm
Okay.
very good at it. Yeah.
I said Kerrilynn background looks so amazing, and that's her house, you guys. Like, I'm in my bedroom, and I didn't get a chance to show it off, but I'm going to. I've not stopped wrapping myself in it. I know you can't
I'm
see
so glad.
you got your mom to make me a quilt when you saw me, and I swear to God, I will have this to the day I leave this earth. It's in my favorite colors, and it's skulls, and it's amazing. And I showed this off on the Angel Rock. I've been showing it to everybody.
Did you? Aw, thanks.
Yes, definitely that, but also this beautiful painting Kerrilynn did, and she channeled messages from my son, and they're in the background. It's beautiful. So have them right here with me.
Because we had the pleasure, we got to see each other last weekend, or Monday, actually. We saw each other after the weekend. It was a busy weekend, but we saw each other Monday in Thunder Bay.
Yes, Kathy thinks we look fabulous. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Spooky season.
Yes, we're almost there. Should we tell them once we get saying hi about they'll get a double dose of us next week? Right?
Yeah.
They will on
so
Halloween.
Do you want me to talk about it now?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Yeah.
Next Friday on Spirit Switchboard, so 6 p.m. Eastern, we are going to have the UPRN Halloween party.
Yes.
So all of the hosts are invited. It will start at 6 p.m. Eastern. Jeffrey Pritchett is giving up his spot for us as well too. So if we have a later party and hanging out, we've got that space and room to do so. So watch for the posts, invite all your friends. I've got some things planned for us. Some paranormal questions, and it'll be fun. UPN host party.
Yes, I already warned my partner, Dell. I guess you're going to have to do the candy because every year when it's Halloween, I'm usually doing a show. And Justin, my son, used to do the candy. So I said, you better be prepared.
I was kind of struggling with it because I love dressing up and handing out the candy. And I know that the neighborhood looks forward to what I do, and I won't be able to do it this year. So I might leave my curtains open so I can see out into the yard and wave at all the kids still. But I think my youngest son's going to do it for me.
Oh, good. That's nice. Oh, I think that must be Mort again, I guess. I was looking at that. Now I realize I think that's Mort Ellie.
It's Mort Ellie.
Okay, there we go.
Denise Mitz, hello and happy Thursday to you too.
Everybody saying hi to one another. We love that.
Contessa Martins, thank you so much for being here.
We have Woostas, I hope I said that correctly, on Instagram. Welcome joining us. Thank you. We love to have people joining us on Instagram too. So we got Mish here.
Hello, Mish. Good day, all.
Got Michelle Wilfong.
Michelle Wilfong. Hello, Lorilei and Kerrilynn. Thank you so much for being here.
We got kicked off of TikTok last week, and I have no restrictions, no nothing, but I think it was, and I have it ticked that it's 18 and over, but we weren't really talking about anything that was dangerous why we got kicked off. So I checked before we went live. I forgot to tell you this. And of course, they're going to allow me to start going live right when we finish. So I'll try and save it for next Thursday. Yeah, because Mish is saying, and Mort's with a different name, and Mish is with a different name. She's
a lot of people, their names look different than, I don't know. We don't know. What's going on with YouTube? We don't know.
We never know.
Cindy Waghorn, Surrender and Shine. And folks, Cindy Waghorn is getting her own podcast as well too. So please watch for all of that information coming out. She's saying, good evening, Kerrilynn and Lorilei.
And does she know where she's going to be doing it, or? Oh. We have some. Go ahead.
Pardon?
Go ahead. Sorry.
With Howie.
Oh, okay, cool. Love it, love it. We have some new hosts coming on the network. I left you a message about it. I heard from our station manager, somebody, we won't say it yet, but I believe it's somebody you've mentioned before that could have a little crush on.
Oh, good.
older gentleman is what I'll say.
Shush up.
I told you that. That's why I couldn't believe you didn't jump on it. Because Michelle told me to tell you. Yes. Okay.
Did you tell me? Did you? No, we need to stop.
Because Michelle told me to tell you. She goes, you could be the one to tell Kerrilynn because she's going to lose her you know what.
We're going to stop.
This was off air, by the way, when we were done, when she was on my show Monday night. I left you a message about it.
You left me a voice message? On Monday. Well, because I had been traveling.
Probably why you didn't hear it. I was wondering why you didn't make a comment. Apparently, and you guys, it's going to be kind of like, what are you guys talking about? Well, we always have new hosts. You guys are going to love it. But apparently they're doing it one time a month, pre-record, until one of the other hosts. There's two gentlemen.
How did that even happen? I have questions. I
know, because Michelle kept going,
There is a time shift, timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly, something.
How can I forget not to tell you that before till now?
I do not know, but are you sure that you're my friend?
I am your friend. You got to check your voice messages. It'll be either Monday night or early Tuesday, but I know you were traveling. But I did tell you. I did. And that's why I kept thinking, well, she didn't say anything. Because Michelle told me, she said, Laura, you can be the one to tell her because Kerrilynn's going to lose her stuff.
I'm having heart palpitations.
Yeah.
Gonna have to come.
Yeah. We'll talk more when we get off. I'll find the message, but I did send it to you. I did. Yeah. So no, she's
amazing.
I know. Well, they're going to be one time a month, from what I understand, on Sundays until not the one. Well, you probably know both of them, but the other one is getting new equipment or something. So once they get the new equipment, it'll be more often.
Julie Jane Bassett.
Hi, Julie.
Animal communicator, shamanic practitioner. Is it Whitetail?
Whitetail Shamanic Healing for the shamanic healing. JulieJeanBassett.com for the animal communication. You guys, you have problems with your pets. I check her out. She's an incredible healer. She also mentioned, I'm sorry, Julie, I did not get a chance to say it on Monday night, but I noticed she has a new animal communication course coming up, I believe, in the next month or so. So feel free to share it here, Julie.
I'm just saying that person needs an invitation to the Halloween party.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
How can I spring this on you now? It just came out. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Julie Dow, thank you so much for being here. Good evening to you.
See how exciting it's going to be? We always have the best new hosts and new shows coming
Hannah. Holy Hannah.
Yeah, holy Hannah. Michelle Wilfong says YouTube's working. She got a notification for it. And I hate this. It goes and puts a little blue line. I have this little spot to click, but we'll share this.
Contessa is sharing. You ladies look fantastic. Kerrilynn, your makeup looks awesome. Thank you so very much. To be honest with you, I slapped some shite on because I didn't know what I was going to do and just hoped it landed okay.
And that's what we did. Yes. I'll take my ghost glasses off. Oh, Carrie saying Big Bang Theory and Young Sheldon are her jam.
Big Bang Theory for sure. But I think, anyway, my oldest son recognized himself and then was not cool about us watching the show because it felt a little raw for him. So then we just stopped. We didn't watch it anymore after that. But it was brilliant and very funny.
I love it. Well, there was the whole cast. It's in interviews they do at one of these big halls in New York. And I remember this question, even the writers were there. And one of the audience members came up and said, why have you never come out and said that Sheldon has autism spectrum disorder? And I cried when I heard what the writer said. He stood up there and he said, because we don't put labels on people. And Sheldon is just Sheldon. And Sheldon is just fine. His mom has had him checked. Because that's one of the lines from the show often, and I'm not doing it justice. Oh, and I'm not a big crier. I'm sure everybody was crying because it was such a beautiful thing to say, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Lisa Martinello, thank you so much. Good evening, everyone, and nice spooky costumes to the host. Thank you very much.
Look at the names in the chat. Yeah, we don't know why, but it is. It's kind of crazy. Everybody's names are different. Thank you for letting us know YouTube's working. Julie says she likes our costumes. Well, we have costumes every week usually. That's the fun of the show.
Kirby's 100. Hello, ladies, you too. Are you sure that this looks pretty? Are you sure?
Well, I have the t-shirt.
But I'll take the winky face right back at you.
I have the t-shirt that you made last year.
Oh, yeah, to keep it weird.
Yeah, well, I was going to wear something black, and then I thought, because I have like every day, probably for the next 6 months, I could wear all Halloween. And then if it's not that, it's Christmas.
Sue Ross, thank you so much for being here.
Hi. I love that you guys are all saying hi to one another, and you're all so kind to one another. I have no idea. This must be emojis. Pillow turquoise hot chocolate.
Jackie Collins, looking awesome, ladies. Thank you very much. Stannis Gibson, it was great seeing you in Thunder Bay. She's saying, "Whoa, you guys look super creepy. Hello from Thunder Bay. Miss you already." And ditto. And
I've lived in Thunder Bay my whole life and never met her. So nice to have a fellow Thunder Bayite here.
Dennis, the show that I'm doing tomorrow on Spirit Switchboard, I think you would be interested in. So hang tight at the end. I'll tell you what it's all about. Rhonda Harris, oh, my friend. Hello. The Orion Effect and the freaking awesome paranormal show.
Yes, so, and we adore Rhonda. I don't get to talk to her very often, and she's amazing. I love her.
I was having a brain fart. So Rift Nation Network. So that is who they're with, and who Cindy Waghorn will also be with. Naomi Gerhard, thank you so much. She's saying hello, ladies.
From Rhode Island. And then hopefully in September.
Fabulous. Well, keep us posted.
Yes. Let's see. Everybody's loving the Halloween. I don't want to miss anybody. So, and Stannis thinks you're swooning.
I was.
From the announcement earlier.
You're correct.
Okay, I think that we're getting finally at the end here. Thanks. So Julie's sharing, if you guys have ever wanted to learn how to communicate with animals, I've taken the course. Julie's an amazing teacher. So she has a beginner animal communication workshop on December 6th and 7th. So be sure to check that out. Let's see. And then Contessa says, Kerrilynn, you look like someone in a black and white horror movie placed in a color environment. It looks really cool.
Thank you.
It does. Oh, I think we're at the bottom. Let me check in with Instagram. No, we're good. So now we get into the
Benno is dressed up as a human today.
Who is?
I'm glad you put your meat suit on.
And who said that?
Benno.
Oh, Benno? Well, we like that
one.
Meat suit on.
Benno from Oz. Just so you all know, I'm dressed up as a human today.
My kid sent me something. He forgets I have a show on Thursday. He always remembers Mondays. And I said, oh, look at it after I've done the show. And I think it has something to do with Phineas and Ferb and Christmas. I don't know why. I just checked it out.
Denise Smith's great ghoulish looks. It's Witches Night out in Tilsonburg tonight. Are you going to go out? I hope it's a fun and safe event for everyone.
I don't do any of the Halloween stuff here.
It looks like Thunder Bay is a very big Halloween town.
Yeah, we are.
Like,
I was going to go to my son's. Yeah, I was going to go to my son's drag show. They're having a big Halloween drag show, and then he let me know that he ended up. He's in his final year to get a social work degree, and he thought finals were this weekend coming up, or sorry, just before Halloween. And they were last weekend, so he's not going to be in it.
I'm just going to pull this. Oh,
I did, and you did. Go ahead. Okay, you want me to click it, and then you.
Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Hello, Kerrilynn. Thank you so much for being here. She's saying, love the makeup, ladies. So good to see you both. Next, if you got the email, I hope you got the email. If you didn't get the email, there's another one. There's one coming and another one coming. You, Perrin, host Halloween party in my time slot next week on Halloween. So we're going to hang out and have fun for Halloween.
Everyone's invited.
Everyone is invited. So I wrote out some questions just for us to think about for the folks in the chat and the folks that are listening. So just for discussion points later. So I'm dropping the questions now for you guys to ruminate about. We're going to have some chat, show a couple of videos, and then.
And I have one I'm going to add if you don't already have it. I have at least one too.
Okay, that's awesome. Do you want to do yours first?
No, go for it. So you might already have them. So go ahead.
Oh, does disrupting a body also disrupt the soul's rest? So does it put them in unrest if their bodies are disrupted? Are hauntings tied to unfinished funerary rituals? And if someone steals your body after you die, does your soul go with it, or does it stay buried?
Those are the ones.
Does it say haunted? Okay. And I thought there was another one, but no. You have the other one.
Some of the questions I came across, I've got one I'm going to add and one I have now. So what I'd like to know with the research I was doing, do you guys believe that if you disturb a grave, you steal a body or something that body has been buried with, are you cursed? Or the other thing is, do you believe that if something was removed from a grave, that you then may find ensuing activity in your home? So that's Mish is asking, what about a donor? You always ask the best questions. That is a whole show we could do. Oh, Duluth Ghost Tours is here too. Hello.
Oh, Kim. It was great seeing you over the weekend at the Thunder Bay Paranormal Convention. If you guys have not followed Duluth Ghost Tours on social media, please do. She posts great videos, is very knowledgeable about the history of her area, and puts on great events. So please give her a follow.
Okay, so Mish, we could actually probably even do a whole show on this. So being a nurse, I have seen this. People that have had transplants, and I've even seen it with a blood transfusion, that after they receive said donor, whatever it may be, end up, say, having memories that they've never had before, all kinds of things that have never happened. I've even seen it with blood transfusions, even a bit of a personality change. And these aren't people that when you're talking to them, they believe in the paranormal or the strange or the unusual. I have seen that. And Contessa's asking the same question. So
you guys are so much alike.
Yes.
In wonderful ways.
Yeah, Carrie saying it's been called cellular memory.
That's what I was just going to say. Carrie agreed.
Yeah, but then again, if you break everything down to energy, right, and energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but it can be transferred. Does that also go with energy? Because then you get into things removed from the grave too, right? A body, clothing, jewelry, whatever that may be. So what, do you want to start with one of those questions?
So do you want to start with a question, or do you want to start with, because
go ahead.
Originally when I had pitched this idea at you, in my head I was thinking about Frankenstein, but not really wanting to talk about Frankenstein. But I love Frankenstein. I love all that stuff.
So tell me exactly what you're thinking.
Well, it was the whole grave body snatching, grave robbing, but then it was taking it to schools. And then when I started the research, it was it's McGill in Montreal. Yeah, McGill in Montreal, back then, and they were stealing bodies to study and learn from. And it was the cemetery was uphill, and then even through when it was cold or in the winter, they would steal them from the dead house where they would store the bodies through the winter and put them on toboggans and go down the hill on those toboggans with these.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So,
like universities.
Okay, so I can tell you when I was in university for nursing, at that time we couldn't afford cadavers, as they were called. And that's interesting because you don't really think of where did they get the body from, right? As a student, you're always told they've been donated.
But we do hear that, and I do know of folks whose loved ones donated their bodies, right?
Mm-hmm. But where I was going to go with that is, how do you know that somebody didn't rob it from a grave? Because what we ended up using wasn't our choice, but what they chose for us was cats. Because cats, believe it or not, inside, well, most of us inside have a lot of the same parts, but that's what we had to do for our labs. We did not have cadavers. But
I thought pigs were more than any other animal.
I've heard pigs, but cats, and we didn't just do it once. Like, this was a whole, I think 2 semesters we had the same cat. There was 4 of us that had to work on it. Mm-hmm. It was not pleasant. Mm-mm.
Well, I heard, like, so is it the late 1700s or in the 1800s, the resurrectionists? So that group, I think they were in Washington. They would, they claimed or bragged that they were so good at that they could put the ground back and no one would even know that their loved ones had been dug up for money.
So Kerrilynn is adding, there's a law being passed here in the States forbidding the liquefaction of the dead, and then they're using that as fertilizer. How about that? Yes, it's called a water cremation, and I hadn't heard of that till a couple of years ago and was just astounded that they're doing this. And then one of the true crime channels I follow on YouTube, he used to be a New York City detective, and his beloved parrot passed away, and they chose a water cremation, and they use water basically and chemicals to dissolve the body. So it's kind of, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff that can be contained in water when you put it in the ground or you put it back into the water source, right?
But what is the point of that?
Oh, they try and say it's more economically feasible, it's cheaper, but you got to do something. I forget what they put in there. If anybody in the chat knows, but they put, I believe, a certain type of eco-friendly chemical that breaks down the body. And I remember this gentleman, his channel is called Duty Ron. He said they chose the water cremation so that they could get the bones back, so that they're not basically burning bodies and releasing the fumes into the air. But you got to do something with the liquid. So all they got back were the bones from his parrot, but they use this liquid and then they just dispose of it. So I could see why Kerrilynn said, like she said, they're currently doing that, and hopefully this law will stop. Yeah, it's Soylent Green in the real world. Yeah, when I read about this, I'd never heard about it till about a year or 2 before, and I thought, oh my God. Because even now they're finding, and we don't think, I never thought of this. Like, do you think about this? Like your water, right? But anything that somebody, like, say, even if you had, say, somebody sick that died and had chemotherapy, those drugs don't get filtered out of the water. Even when people eliminate in the toilet, that water, like, none of those drugs get taken out or anything. Like, there's a lot of stuff that could be in your water source that, even though it might be sterilized, right? Well, then I kept thinking, what kind of hauntings could you have if they're putting that kind of stuff in the water? Right? It's a body. You're snatching a body, and well, you're not snatching it, you're disposing it, I guess. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly, Kim. It's Kim, right, from Duluth?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they've been talking about here. Medications, or even medications we're taking, and then because we eliminate, obviously, I would think most of us in a bathroom, and the water goes into the water and flushes away. We don't think what happens to that water. And that got me thinking with the paranormal, if they're going to start doing these water cremations, what could be attached to that if you're releasing it into the ground or the water sources too, right? Mm-hmm.
I have.
Okay.
Well, we just see how a lot of wasn't there just a docuseries on about ethical, environmentally friendly funerary services, and they were not doing what they were supposed to be doing. So they were really desecrating bodies. They were piled on top of each other, and how could that go sideways? That probably goes sideways. How do you know for sure that you're person or pet?
I agree. Well, we had my son cremated, and his father and I, it sounds terrible, but we split his ashes. And then I often thought that because some of my beloved animals I no longer have with me, I've had cremated, and I've often thought about that. Like, how do you know that that's what you think it is when they give it to you? You're not going to go digging through it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or even piling bodies one on top of another. Like, then you got to think about respect of somebody who dies, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, it was a horrifying docuseries to watch.
Oh, wow. Wow. So, and then the body snatchers, right? Resurrectionists. Like, how do you get that good that people can't even tell that you dug up the earth?
I don't know, but do you want me to call it up so I can tell you about it?
Sure, please do. Hi, Sean Ellis. I'm saying hello.
Hello, thank you for being here.
Yeah. Then I found about the cages that mainly over in the UK, I think Scotland and Ireland, back in the 17th and 1800s, they were creating these wrought iron cages to put over graves to stop, grave robbing. Mm-hmm. Were you able to find it, or you want me to grab it?
I got it. So in Washington, D.C., in the late 19th century, certain sites, such as Holmead's Burying Ground, became prime targets for resurrectionists. For example, a man named George Christian ran a body snatching enterprise, 1870s, in Potter's Field-style cemeteries, stealing the recently buried and unclaimed, delivering them to medical schools. But
yeah, again, I guess
body snatching enterprise.
That's what grossed me out, enterprise. So, and I'd never even thought of that. Where I was going, like I started to say, like we were always told that in university, the reason why, because we always did it with people that took their kinesiology degree. And we were told that the university wasn't big enough at the time to have cadavers. But I remember asking questions, including where did all these cats come from? And, well, they were donated, or, they were ethically sourced, is what we were told. They were never told where they came from. But even with bodies, like, you're right. Like, how do you know? Like, also as students, you would be told, well, the bodies were donated to science. But how do you know that they weren't taken?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I know that a lot of people, well, there are people who don't agree with doing paranormal investigations at cemeteries. And then there's those of us that do it. I focus on pioneer cemeteries, or those cemeteries that are like off the road and forgotten about, those sorts of things. And when I've had this discussion with people, I mention that a lot of the spirits that I run into are immigrants that came first to settle and then bring their families here. So a lot of them have died without family here. So, they talk about like not wanting to disrupt the grave sites or bother, or that it's disrespectful. But those ones that are connecting, a lot of them want crossed over or to be recognized, or, those sorts of things. So now, after like doing some of this research, it's like maybe another line of questioning is your body even in are you here because something happened in those places where there is a university close by to those cemeteries, which a few of them that we've investigated are, and they're very old, connected to, 1800s wars and stuff like that. So it's just a different line of questioning that I'm thinking about now.
I kept thinking about the catacombs underneath Paris, France, too. Like, I know it's not body snatching, but again, it kind of goes hand in hand in the way of respect of, to the dead. Like, we had already mentioned earlier about piling bodies one on top of each other, and never mind, there's a whole city built over top. And Kim saying, and put on display in Vegas and other cities as bodies.
Kim is also adding, I always feel that cemeteries could have lost souls. They totally do. John Does, so to speak, who died where they don't belong without ID. There are, and you kind of get to know where to start looking immediately to, like, we grid it out. We start in one section, and it's usually the pretty bang on every time we go where we look. And we had talked, or I mentioned, like in Montreal, the dead houses. A lot of the cemeteries don't have like dead houses. They don't, but turn them into like storage places and stuff like that. But those places still have a lot of spirit activity and souls that want to connect.
Well, you've given me so much to think about. Yes, I saw that. Oh my God, that movie. There's so many things that happen that remind you, if you haven't seen The Meaning of Life. Because Mish says, Monty Python, I've come for your liver. I'm not dead yet.
I'm not dead yet.
And this is kind of disrespectful, but from The Meaning of Life, when they're talking about the Protestants that can cover their tallywhackers versus the Catholics across the street. Well, I come from one of those families. My grandmother she apparently was pregnant every year for 25 years and had 17 children. And that's what I constantly keep thinking of this. And she's doing the dishes. She's got, oh, Deirdre, could you grab the baby, please? As she drops another one on the floor. Because I can't even imagine.
No.
That many kids. Oh, dear Lord. Oh, Sherry, I didn't see you if you're here, but hello. I'm guessing Sherry Madigan. Sherry Madigan. I think it might be.
Oh, she's right there. I'm on my way.
I missed
you. See it? Oh,
I do. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hi, Sherry. And then I just wanted to read what Carrie. I didn't get a chance to read it.
Oh, sorry. I'll go back to it. Hang on. I saw it right here.
Yeah. Now I understand past lives for me. Now that I understand past lives for me, it takes on new meaning of reduce, reuse, recycle our bodies network. Yeah. Yep.
I wanted to highlight this from Naomi Gerhardt too. She said New Orleans. That's actually where we broadcast from. And we used to do a paranormal panel on the show, whatever hosts were around, and the owner of the network. We're actually broadcasting from his home right now, even though we're both in Canada and different places, in New Orleans. And he's lived there his whole life. Joe Montaldo, who started this network 25 plus years ago. And we've gotten into the discussion, and he has a construction business. I believe he's finally passed it on to his youngest son. I don't say finally because he often talked about doing that. So I'm happy he's semi-retired. But he talked about Katrina, and he said because French Quarter was always known as one of the most haunted places, right? And he said when the salt water came in, it was like all the paranormal activity disappeared. Either went to higher ground or whatever. He says now, since it's been so many years past Katrina, they're starting to see the activity moving back in. I always thought that was interesting.
It is interesting. And I'm going to talk to my daughter about that, because whenever something weird's happened when she was a teenager, that was the first thing she would say, grab the salt. Grab the salt.
Grab the salt. Okay, so Mish has got a question. If our bodies are just vessels, why are some hung up on what happens to our bodies?
So respect, a place to memorialize, like just tradition, belief systems. I'm sure lots of reasons.
And plus, obviously whatever you believe when you pass away, like you said, but you even get like religious dogma, or think about the beliefs that you have. You still have free will. You still have a tie to who you were, for, I believe, at least a bit. There is no time on the other side, but who you were in this lifetime, and you get into a whole different discussion, I think, when you start talking about who you are in this lifetime versus past, present, and future lives, right? But I think, obviously, I agree with you 100% that I think it's what you believe when you pass away, and maybe even the people around you too, right? That believe that you need to, say, have a funeral. Or I've had a lot, I'm not trying to keep bringing my son up, but I've had a lot of people give me a hard time about, well, aren't you going to bury his ashes? No, I don't feel like I have to. And to me, you know what? I don't know if I'm always going to be living here, right? So,
Mhm.
and he was with me the first 27 years of his life. So, and I know his dad feels the same way. But again, it's people's belief systems. I think it was a good question you asked, Mish.
And belief system, including fear. Like, some people are, fear rules their decision
Yeah.
making, so that fear, or, and again, belief, that there isn't another side, that they just go down to feed the worms. That was what my grandma used to say.
Mhm.
But she was also very scared of that, not wanting to be there, because she was scared of, that's what she used to say anyway, scared of being with the worms.
I always say, and I've made it very clear to my partner, that I don't want you to spend any money on me when I pass, because I have no use for my body anymore. I will be free. I believe that my soul will be where it needs to be. So, and again, that's just my belief system. I would never judge anybody else, but
Yeah.
don't spend tons and tons of money. And same thing as, I know where my partner wants to be. He wants to be cremated, and has the camp that's like a house outside the city on a beautiful lake. That's where he wants to go. So I think it's your belief systems.
Mhm. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna be cremated and shot off in a firecracker.
Ooh. I like that one too. That's cool. Actually, this is,
I do. Yeah.
well, hey, right? Nothing wrong with that. Wasn't it one of the guys from Star Trek? Was it James Doohan that wanted to go up into space to have his ashes released?
I'm
Scotty?
not sure.
Yeah,
Oh.
Scotty from Star Trek. I'm positive he did. So I believe there was, I want to say private, that a rocket ship went up, or there was some kind of arrangements. And again, it was announced sort of to the public, like Trekkies and stuff. And it wasn't recent. It was quite a while ago. So,
Mhm.
no, whether they did it or not, but that's, I believe, what the media was saying.
Kerrilynn, so Ethereal Encounters Unveil, Kerrilynn is sharing even animals hold ceremonies for their dead, like ravens and elephants.
Well,
Mhm.
true, but animals don't seem to have the issues that they grieve. I would say that they don't grieve, or that they do grieve, but they don't have the issues around death like we do as human beings. I have seen and heard. And what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, well, I think animals grieve.
Not that they don't grieve. They definitely grieve, but say an animal's ill and it's their time to go, right? They don't, I maybe I'm not wording it right, but they don't, like, I'll use this example. Like, have you ever heard that, say, an animal's elderly and sick and never ever ran away from home, and when it's their time to go, they'll just quietly go find a place far off from where their home is, and their spirit's kind of released and free. Have you ever heard that before?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, like, maybe Julie can word it better for me than what I can, but I find that animals just don't, like. Of course, they grieve, absolutely, 100%. But when it comes to dying, that they just kind of accept when it's their time to go, kind of thing.
Oh, and separate themselves.
Yeah, like, I'm trying to say it without being disrespectful, but humans, a lot of us fear death. We don't talk about death, right? Like, we really, and
Oh,
again, I understand I'm not putting this on the same level as animals. It's just animals, when it's their time to go, they
mhm.
know when it's their time to go, kind of thing, and they accept it
I would like to think it's changing for us too, though, with death doulas and more conversations.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't wording it right. I see Kim, I think she had to run, but she said thank you from Duluth Ghost Tours. I think she said that a little bit earlier. I might have missed that. But thank you for popping in. With Sean saying everyone is capable to cross the veil to see loved ones if shown
Yes,
how.
agreed.
I agree.
Sometimes we just need to help them get there.
Yeah, that's it, Jill. So Julie said the same thing. They don't fear death like humans do. That's probably what I was trying to say and not be disrespectful. And that's why I said, Julia, I know you'll just word it perfectly. Thank you. Oh, sorry. I was going to put Contessa. She said, I think it's more fear of not knowing what's on the other side. I agree. Mm-hmm. Definitely agree. So, getting back to our body snatching, or do you want me to do our station ID before we?
Yeah.
Okay. So, if you're just tuning in, you're listening live to Beneath the Hollow Moon with myself, Lorilei Potvin, and my amazing co-host and friend, Kerrilynn Shellhorn. And we are talking about grave robbers and what was the other part? I remembered both when you did the beginning, and now I forgot what it was. Grave robbing and
Body snatchers.
Thank you. Body Snatchers. And you can listen to us on 105.3 FM on the Gulf Coast and Mississippi, and 107.7 FM out of the beautiful city of New Orleans. And just to give you a little reminder, we always have new hosts and new shows coming up. We stream several shows live daily, 7 days a week. It's not all just UFO and paranormal. So be sure to check us out. We're revamping the website. It's www.uprntalkradio.com. And through the grapevine, we're hearing that there may be a merch store coming. I believe there is, as well as I had heard something to the effect there's supposed to be a new kind of chat room when you're listening and stuff right on the website. Did I forget anything?
I don't think so.
No? Yeah, so we're glad you're
Feels
here.
good.
Glad you're here. Mm-hmm. So, getting into the spooky stuff. So, did you come across a lot of stories of paranormal activity? Like that, did people report that because of, say, said snatched body going to medical schools or wherever?
And I was thinking about like during pirate times too, they literally like snatched living bodies, right? In the bars, they would set it all up and get them a little inebriated, knock them over the head, open up the hatch on the floor and drop them under and take them off onto the ships, right? So I did apparitions, eerie feelings, sounds, aggressive spirits as well too, auditory sounds as well. So, and it seemed pretty consistent with most of the places. The Scotland vaults was another place. Did you come up with that as well too? The Scotland vaults.
I did, and that's where I tried to type it out and it auto-corrected, but I think it was called the Mort. Give me one sec, guys. I'll go on my page here because my phone thinks it knows how to spell better than me. Mortages, I think they were called, and that's when I came up with. It was one of the most haunted places, supposedly, I believe, in Scotland. It says the cursed grave of. Can I read that? C.F. Moore. I'm not saying it correctly. There's a way to pronounce it. He does in the video. But yes, haunted stuff. And the other thing where I kind of went with is not even just bodies, because I keep thinking about the Frankenstein reference. Holy cow, we could really go deep into that. But jewelry and clothing. I came across a lot of that, including this really creepy guy that was a grave robber and robbed corpses and then mummified them and turned them into mummies. Like dolls, sorry. Still in their clothing and everything. I have a video clip on it. It's not, you don't get to see too much, but just the thought of it, like how twisted do you have to be? Like, why?
So there's that other end of it, right? So at the beginning, there's that education, learning, monetary gain, right? With those sorts of things. But yeah, then there's that weird mental health, fetish, bad things side to it, right?
Agree.
I think body snatching and grave robbing was like, when you think about, one of the things that I first think about is the Egyptian tombs and the pharaohs and that time period. And I don't think that I would, if anybody was a firm believer of the afterlife and cursing would be Egyptians, I wouldn't want to dig in there. And that's what happened, right? With some of them, the curses.
Yeah, but then you hear, how many movies have there been made about the curses of the mummies, or mummies being transported all over from museum to museum? I just wanted to address this really quick. We got a lot of questions, actually. Mitchie said, hope we don't have to pay for the new chat room. We haven't heard anything of the sort, but even if there is, you guys are still going to be able to connect with us with the platforms that we're using already, because I seen people were talking about that. Sorry, so I wanted to address that. So yeah, it's just an added feature. So if you're not on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or anywhere else for streaming, then yeah, it's just another place to connect. I didn't hear anything. I don't believe we would be charging for a chat room. We want you guys to listen and join in. So I wanted to address that. So we got quite a few questions. I'm going to star them.
The South Bridge vaults in Edinburgh, Scotland. Subterranean vaults beneath Edinburgh's South Bridge were at times used as storage, workshops, even lodging, but also became a haunt for illicit activities, among them grave robbers, resurrectionists. The ambient dampness, darkness, and hidden passages have contributed to ghost stories and reports of tortured spirits.
Okay, if you're just tuning in, just so you guys know, because I had mentioned at the station ID time that our website, we already have a website, by the way. It's always been there. It's www.uprntalkradio.com. It's being revamped and updated. You guys are going to love it. And we've heard through the grapevine a chat room is going to be added and a merch store. So no, it's not something you're going to have to pay for. It's just another place to connect and chat. You guys will still be able to watch, because I see people are still having questions. You're going to be able to watch us still on YouTube, like all the platforms you've always watched us. But for example, I believe it's 80%. I asked Michelle this on Monday night when she was on my show. At least 80% of our audience is overseas, and they're listening. So they don't have a way to connect and chat. So that would be another way for them, say, to get together and chat. So no worries. It's a good thing. You won't have
new friends to hang out with.
Yes, there you go.
Growing the community.
So we got some interesting questions. This is when Contessa's asking, do people who pass away at home linger there? I have an answer. What's your answer? What do you think?
So all of it, potentially yes, potentially they just pop in and check in. It doesn't mean that they are necessarily stuck. So I think it's individually based. Sometimes they do stick around to make sure that their loved ones are okay.
I agree 100%.
Sometimes they stick around because however they pass, maybe they weren't ready to go, confused, and need some help going. So,
and I would agree with that, especially with working with a lot of people death and dying at home. And it's, again, I've always believed, and from the work I'm doing too, that I think if the family's having a very, very, very hard time, in particular, like you said, yeah, they're going to hang around a few days to make sure everybody's okay, to be able to, kind of help them. We can't really physically interact, but be there, if you will, energetically, to make sure everybody's okay. And I agree 100% with what you've said. So I don't think it really makes, if anything, I think you would have more of a propensity to hang around passing away, say, unexpectedly in a hospital. If it's unexpected versus, say, planned, even at home.
But I find not even so much that they linger in the space, but sometimes they go over, but they're not at rest, and they need help being at rest. So still needing healing to happen so that they are at rest. So trying to get attention so that they can be at rest.
I agree 100%. So Mish is asking, what about the country that brings home their departed loved ones every year? I'm not. Did I miss something there? Because I'm not quite sure. Do you know what Mish? I know she'll explain it, but did I miss something?
It gives someone passes out of country, and then they bring.
Yeah,
That's
I'm not.
not resurrecting a body, though, or like that's not. That's just bringing the body home.
Yeah, maybe let us know. Sorry, Mish, if I didn't quite understand, but I know you'll explain it. So Lisa Martinello is asking, doesn't the soul leave the body at the time of death or just before death? I agree. I believe it mostly does usually, but I don't know. I think it's individual, but I believe it does. Don't you?
At the time of death.
Or even before I've seen it leave.
Mm-hmm.
So that the body still, or you'd still experience it even human wise. I don't know. What's your thoughts on that?
I always thought it was. Yeah, I guess just before, if I'm thinking about certain sessions that I've had with folks, but usually at the time of death.
From experience too, it just depends, I think, because like if we've had somebody that's been palliative, for example, and they're in a coma, it's almost like they have one foot in on the earthly realm and one
Well, for sure.
kind of over. Yeah. So I think it's individual with what experience maybe, well, if you believe that you contract and what experience you're going to have when you leave. So we're here to have experiences, but it's a good question, Lisa. Thank you for asking it.
Yeah, I'm thinking of all of the sessions I've had with really traumatic passings and what they've shown as well too. And you're right about those that are in medicated coma space. That 1 foot in, one foot out,
Yeah.
for sure.
So, oh, thanks, Miss. She sent it. Okay, I'll grab it. She said she sent the description. Okay, so Sean, I have heard this before. You said sometimes it's 3 days after to adapt to the new, but I really believe that there is no time and space on the other side. So, and again, I would never tell you what to believe, but it's the same thing. And I know it's not related to our discussion. I've been told before that demons never tell you what their name is, blah, blah, blah. And I've shared what my dream is, and I was told the name and how to spell it, right? So I don't know. Have you found this yourself, like that's a rule? Or sometimes that, because I've heard this before too, Sean, that it's 3
I think
days.
there are no rules.
I agree. I agree.
There are no rules. And if there's rules, I know that I'm breaking the bulk of them.
Me too.
Continuously.
Oh, Mish, I can't watch it. She sent me a YouTube video, but I don't think I can't watch it, hun. Hang on. Okay,
There is no time but to who believe in time. Thank you. Yes.
That's amazing. And Mish says the rules are made to be broken. I agree. Or like
well, I didn't even realize that I was breaking the rules. Do you know what I mean? Like I just knew, yeah, this is how it all works for me, because I was a little kid with not anybody that was talking about having the same stuff, because my great grandfather was this way, but he died way before I was born. And so I've just known what is my normal, and my normal is not in alignment with what traditional teaching is.
I agree with you. There was something else I was going to say, but I was reading Carrie Fast's comment. I got your comment too, what you're explaining, what you're talking about here. You had asked earlier. I'll start this, Carrie. Oh, that's what I was going to say. That, I often say, the old saying, think outside the box. and you have something similar to this because I heard you say it the other day, but how about thinking like there is no box?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because there isn't. But you said something else when you were over on Monday. I forget what it was. I'm positive it was you that said that, and I loved what you said because
I
I
don't
think
know. Was I being salty?
no, we were all talking about Galilei and you and about this, and it was like thinking like they're outside, like they're or thinking like there is no box, and it was something you said. It was so cool.
There is
Okay,
no spoon.
what's that?
There's an instant. There is no spoon from the Matrix.
Maybe that was it. Yeah, maybe
I
that
don't
was it.
know.
Yeah.
Did you see the Instagram notification?
Oh, I'll fix that. Thank you. That's what I thought it was Roku. I'll fix it. They do this every now and then. I'll fix it once we get talking. Do you want me to read what Mish was asking when she was asking about people bringing home their dead loved ones every year? Because she sent something. What she put is the Toraja. It's Toraja, people of Indonesia, perform an annual ceremony called, oh, I'm going to screw this up. Please forgive me if you're Indonesian. Uh, Manene, where they dig up the bodies of deceased relatives, clean them, dress them in new clothes, and sometimes parade them around the village. I've never heard of this.
Oh, I did find that actually. I'm so
Well,
sorry, Mish. Keep going.
okay, so she said this this ritual is a way for the families to honor ancestors and maintain their connection with them, as death is seen as a transition rather than an end. So it's not too long. The ritual, families go to the family crypt known as a patain to retrieve the bodies of their dead relatives. The process, they wash and clean the bodies, fix or replace damaged coffins, and dress them in new clothes. The parade. In some cases, the bodies are paraded around the village. Then the last part was the purpose. The Manene ceremony is a way to show respect for the deceased and celebrate and it cut off, but I think it means their lives. I hadn't heard of that before. That's really interesting.
So I didn't find that. It was very similar though, like in areas in China where there's a tradition of yin marriages, post-human or
Oh, I've heard of those. Yes.
posthumous weddings for the dead has
Hmm.
created a black market for female corpses, which are dug up and sold to families to marry deceased sons in the afterlife. So they
Hmm.
have somebody to be
Yeah.
taken care of and partnered with.
Yeah, I've heard of that before. Yeah,
And they
definitely heard
have
of that. I'm gonna
So, along with that, they're saying an increased high strangeness of dream visitations, angry spirits, and bad luck because of the improper rituals that are performed.
but there's also been quite the stories about that. I have run into some creepy stories with the true crime thing about how they're trying to find a fresh one because it's usually the groom's parents I've seen,
Yeah,
excuse me, that are looking for it, and the fresher and younger the corpse, the higher they'll pay. And there's been some crime involved around that to obtain the quote unquote perfect bride in death for them.
right.
Yes.
Ick.
Just like human
It comes
beings.
back to belief systems, right?
Hmm. I'd forgotten about that. I'm glad you brought that up because I never even thought of Dia de los Muertos.
Mm.
Now they don't, as far as I know, parade any bodies around, but they do celebrate the deaths, right? And they do freshen up the graves and what have you. But I'd never heard of what you shared, Mish. So thank you for sharing that. That's just crazy. Holy cow. Because you know what I'm thinking? Maybe it's call it the scientist or nurse in me, depending on the state of the body. I wonder if they have special preparations for the body because, that's not the most pleasant thing to be doing, digging up a decomposing body. So I don't know. What do you think? Like, that would certainly be difficult. Am I
Mm.
cutting off? I didn't know if I was cutting off because I'm putting on Instagram here. I'm almost done, guys.
No, I
Um,
was just reading the questions. Sorry, I'm going to come back up.
Go ahead. I was setting up Instagram, so you go for it. I'm just getting it going again. It's going.
I was going to put up Carrie's. You had started. Has anyone ever tried to investigate where they lived another life and where they died. I've had to clear it. I have to clear any stuck energy from my death. I found 2 lives here in Alberta to heal and remove karma.
I can't say I've heard that, but what I have heard, and I've heard this many, many, many times, especially with children that remember their previous lives, they'll go to a country that they've never been to, and they know exactly what street they're on, where to go, where they used to live, all kinds of things like that.
She's continuing very healing. I actually went to the places and did like an acknowledgement and release. It was a beautiful experience. I bet it was. And I feel that because my kids have actually, when they were small, talked about these past lives more than what I have remembered. And you could feel the emotion attached to the stories, and they're just little. And I wasn't talking about these things, that would be healing for them, that there was something that they were remembering and bringing forward that they needed healing in. Yes.
Yeah, passion pockets are great for that. Yeah, definitely. And then it brings up, Michelle Pratt, or Mish, is saying that's fascinating, Kerry. And Contessa's adding, Day of the Dead honors the lives of loved ones and pets. We make an altar with their pictures and decorate with food and stuff they like cigarettes, wine, etc. Yes, I agree. What is that movie, Coco? Have you ever seen that? That's such a sweet movie. And I know that it's a Disney thing, but it kind of brings awareness around that ceremony.
But I think there's lots of cultures that put a place setting out and have altars, but maybe use a different word in honoring loved ones at special times of the year, birthdays, celebrations, and all of that kind of stuff. I know that we do it. And
Well, I said I don't really want to celebrate Christmas this year, but you know what? That was the most favorite time of the year for my son. And I'd already bought him a couple presents for this year already. And then I thought, no, you know what? I'm going to do it for him in memory of him. So I could certainly understand, and I think it's a beautiful thing to never forget our loved ones.
And you can create a new tradition in a different way that feels right for you, that honors your grief at the same time too. Contessa is sharing, we do that too, place setting during the holidays. Yeah.
I love that. Oh, Carrie was thanking earlier. She had said, yes, ladies, thank you for your confirmation and understanding. And she said, I got blasted by someone. This was wrong and shamed for it. And what I'd like to say is, I'm really sorry that happened, because you know what? I always say, and I'm sure you're going to agree too, Kerrilynn, none of us really know what all the answers are until we go back home ourselves. And I think we have to follow our own path and our own belief system. And it's okay if you believe this and you know it to be true. And you know what? And I'm sorry that someone treated you that way, because it sounds very valid to me what you were doing. And again, it makes me sad when people get blasted for something or told they're wrong. I don't think any of us know what the exact.
No, we won't know. We're not meant to know all of the answers. We're not. We have to go through the process and then understand.
So, and
for anybody that blasts that way, it just
run.
Well, there's fear for them in not being open-minded, high intention, low attachment, let go of those expectations, right? That we don't know everything, and there could be a different perspective and growth for that person, and they weren't willing to have that moment. It's sad.
I have been on the receiving end of something you shared, and it I guess where I'm coming from, I agree 100% with everything you're saying, and I'm so glad that you shared what you did. Because that's where I'm going with this. Honor what your experiences are that you've had. And you know what? And again, like you said, maybe lack of understanding, whatever it may be. but again, it feels icky. So I'm glad that you felt safe here, that you could share that, because
Yeah. Points you in
definitely.
the direction of your own, of a different
Mhm.
community that is in alignment.
Yeah, there you go. Kerrilynn always has such a beautiful way of saying things. I'm like, whoa, tons and tons of words.
And even if it was something that we didn't understand or we've not had that experience, we could say it in that form. I've not had
Yeah.
that experience, which does not take away from your experience.
Mhm.
People
Mhm.
are wackadoodle.
When I said run, I meant that because I always have told people, like when I'm working with clients, I would never speak of anybody else. I don't mean this, but as a joke. And I said it on air too. If somebody tells you they're an expert in the paranormal, run, because none of
Yeah,
us.
yeah, it's true. It's true. I
Yeah.
say that about drama. If there's a whole lot of drama, you're going to see the bottom of my shoes.
Yeah. Hmm.
No, thank you.
But that's, I think, but I don't like drama. You know, you don't like drama. Like, we just, no, I don't like confrontation. I don't like any of that stuff. So, yeah, you just honor who you are and what you're doing. And you know what? Again, there's many reasons why people feel like they got to belittle what you're doing or whatever. So, trust in the experience that you had. Hmm. That's what I think.
Hmm.
So,
Did you have a video that you wanted to play?
I
Sorry.
do, but I wanted to ask one question before you do. So, some of the questions you'd asked too. So, I'd love to hear people's thoughts. What do you guys think? There is no right or wrong answer. Do you think that you might be cursed if you knew someone or whomever decided they wanted to be a grave robber or a body snatcher? Or even with the fact of jewelry, because that's what I'd seen, a lot of this jewelry and clothing as well being stolen. And do you believe that that necessitates that you're going to be haunted if you've taken it, right? I,
Does having a belief that you could be
I
haunted
agree.
influence it as well too, though? If you
I
believe that,
agree.
if you are of that, do not believe that it can be haunted and choose to ignore it, could you not be haunted and still
I
be
love
that?
it. Mhm.
Yeah.
Just would love to hear some thoughts. Well, what about the questions you asked, Kerrilynn? Because I'll get a few videos ready while you're.
Oh, well, the questions I asked was about disrupting, if disrupting the body disrupts the soul's rest, and if hauntings could be tied to unfinished funerary rituals.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, if they steal your body, what happens with your soul?
I agree. Like, there's a lot of questions out there with that. Like, and I think that's a really good question that you asked. Like, what happens? Like, what do you think, you guys? It was food for thought this evening with a lot of this, right? I'm just trying to get this guy to settle down here. Sorry, guys, it's a TikTok video. So go ahead, Kerrilynn. I'm fooling around on this
Oh,
other piece for a sec.
that girl agreed. Then add timelines, reincarnations, multiverses, alternate dimensions, alternate realities. Then anything can be possible or impossible. Agreed.
Hmm. Well, this does not want to play nice with me.
Contessa is sharing, I always remember the dream my dad came to tell, is that he was good where he was, but that it was completely different than what we were taught. And even if he explained, we wouldn't understand.
Thanks for
There's
sharing that.
the family. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, why does it do that? Sometimes that comes up and then other times it won't come up at all. Like, I have to add it to the stage. Sorry, go ahead.
Naomi Gerhard is sharing, yes, I think you could be cursed. I agree. Kathy is sharing, for me, I believe that our soul is in our bodies while we're here in Earth School. Lisa Martinello, I think the soul is already in another dimension, so I don't know if they would still feel an attachment to their body. Thank you for sharing that. Sean Ellis, your body is only a vessel, your energy moves on. Our meat suit.
I love that.
Um, Lisa, I think the soul, okay, we did that already. Kathy is saying, but once the body is gone, the soul moves on.
Mm-hmm.
Jenny O, good evening, ladies. The soul already left the body, so I don't really think it matters. It's just a suit. Agreed. Just a
Mm-hmm.
suit.
Yeah, like I said, you could have so many. We haven't even really done a whole show even on just on cemeteries yet. Wait till we go to that one. I've seen all kinds of videos. So this one, it's a little bit morbid, but it's about the Russian guy I was telling you about, and this is a little bit
Okay.
more of his story.
Is it gonna? Do we need to add a trigger warning for folks?
We might. Let me pick a different one. Now that I think of it, let me pick a different one because you're right. It could be. It's
We just
not
have.
morbid, but it's. Go ahead.
We have a whole lot of empathic, sensitive folks.
I agree. So thank you. Is there one that you want me to show that you think might be better?
No, I was just asking if we needed to have a trigger warning. I was
No, but
prepared
I
for it.
agree. I
I'm
didn't
okay to
even.
watch it. Oh, I know that we're all grown ups, and you can still play it. I was just wondering if we needed to
No,
do.
but you know what? I think that was a good question to ask. I really, really do, because I hadn't thought of that. And you're right. And I'm glad that you brought that up. So tell you what, we'll play this one and we'll give a trigger warning so that you guys have enough warning. There's nothing gross, but it's kind of it's creepy. The guy took bodies. He was a body snatcher and turned them into dolls. So I'm really glad you brought that up. I am, because I hadn't even thought of that. So we'll get that proviso. And if you guys want to see it, I will pull it up. But then those that don't, you'll have had enough warning. How's that?
Yeah. When I watch those, I'm always cognizant, like the bodies that he took, especially if it was more recent, they have family members that would, you know.
I don't know if it was more recent. It looks like it wasn't, but those are all things. Like I said, I'm really glad you brought that up. So, okay, why does it do that tonight? It's just like every now and then when you pull up videos, like usually you gotta add to the stage. I usually make a comment, and tonight all I'm doing is clicking on the video and it's putting it right up there. So this is the one that happened in Thailand. So hang on. We want to unmute it. Sorry guys, it won't let me open it any bigger.
Cemetery in a very creepy and bizarre state. All the graves had huge holes in them, being 1 square meter wide. And what makes things even more mysterious is the fact that the ground was completely dry. In other words, this was no natural phenomenon or rain. Theories range from grave robbers to zombies or even some sort of strange paranormal phenomenon. To this day, no one knows exactly what happened. All I know is that this is not the kind of thing that happens every day, mainly when it happens from night to day. This is one.
This is in Thailand. Sorry, it cut off.
That's weird.
That's what I thought. Like, what do you
It looks
guys
like
think?
a whole bunch of sinkholes.
I know. Like, what do you think happened? Like, you could see why people might think zombies. Like, did everybody climb out of the grave? This made them move.
Nismi? Ayağım Nisan ama paçam aldı bana tanıştım. Sanki.
So do they have separate graves, like separate Catholic, not Catholic? Like, do they have different? Is it just?
I
Do you know
don't
what I mean?
know. But that, like, I just thought it was weird because we're talking about body snatchers. Because what's your line? Like, what are you thinking if you're asking that? Like, you think maybe it's something
Well,
that
if
happened?
it had a religious,
That's what I was going to say. Okay.
yeah, religious belief to why that would happen, or if it's centered around a specific date that is meaningful to their religious backgrounds, or I just have more questions to ask about that.
I agree. Definitely. Everybody's really loving what Contessa shared about her dad that you had read. So thanks for sharing.
I think there's more up here. Did you see this?
No, I didn't. Do you want to highlight? Okay.
Yep. Contessa's sharing, days before my dad passed, he kept telling us that his body was half here and half over there. He said his body was preparing to leave, and he did days later.
Thank you for sharing that. I can tell you that the most rewarding in my nursing career was working in palliative care and death and dying at home. And I'm writing a book right now for the mainly nurses' experiences, but first responders and death doulas, about the incredible, amazing, unexplainable experiences that we have as a human being leaves here and goes back home, as I call it. And if exactly what you just said there, seen that many times, Contessa, and it's a beautiful thing, because I like you said, yes, your dad knew what was happening so that he could share that with all of you. And the other things I've seen too, I've called it the gift. You'll find other nurses have called it other things. Sometimes, not all the time, but somebody will be very close to leaving this planet, going back home. There's physical signs, they're in a coma, and then sometimes it might only be for 5 minutes. Sometimes I've seen the longest it's been about 8 hours, and it's almost like they wake up and it's like they were never sick, and they're able to have that, what needs to be said, or conversations with people. And I never have known, there's no guarantee it's going to happen, why or when, but it was always incredible. And then usually, not always, but usually within the next 24 hours, that person indeed would be leaving here to go on their other journey, if you want to call it, or go back home. So I'm glad that you shared that experience with your dad. Thank you very, very much. So anyways,
Oh, fat girl. Do you
what
see
happened?
Nobody knows. Reminds me of when I visited my late cat's grave site, and the hole was empty, no signs of foul play.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm sorry. Wow. Very, very, very unusual. And
It is unusual.
And how disturbing that must have been. Oh my goodness. Very disturbing. I'm sorry for your loss, and for anybody, for the loss of your dad too, Contessa, or anybody else who's lost someone as well. I send my deepest condolences and empathy.
Were you going to play that video now?
Oh, okay. Do you want me to play that one?
I just felt,
no, you are 100% right. I'm really,
if you're not interested in seeing that part, then tap out. Some people find those things disturbing. They don't watch horror movies. They wouldn't watch Ed Gein. All those things are disturbing to them. So it's giving them that opportunity to tap out.
I gotta find it again now. Now it's disappeared on me. Hang on. No, and I'm glad you brought that up. I really am glad you brought that up. I didn't even think that. Okay, let's see. The Thailand one. Hang on. I got creepy grave robber in Utah, but the one, this is the one. Okay, this is the one from Russia. So if you want to tap out, give me 1 sec, but this will be the time to do it. I want to make sure that's turned off. Hang on. Let's share the screen. Let's see if it's going to bring it up right away. Are you bringing it up right away? Did it? No. See, it did. Okay, I was going to say, oh no, it didn't bring it up. Okay, hang on. I got to unmute it. Unmute.
Don't run away. I'll keep you safe down by the bed.
I thought that he was, there was a narration.
My father's home.
I'm going to read it. Pause on me here, guys. Okay, what it is, if you see this, it's not, again, it can be triggering, but there's nothing morbid. But this Russian gentleman was basically grave robbing or body snatching, and then mummifying the remains and turning them into dolls. It just, whatever possesses you.
Out with the old, in with the new, he
died.
My parents lie down by the
His name was Anatoly Moskovin, and these were his dolls. It wasn't a very long video. It was just basically showing that, like, for me, I often wonder, like, what goes on inside your head that you would even think of something.
Well, we can't, like, they're irrational. It's irrational thinking.
Mm-hmm.
We're not able to wrap our head around the why to that. Same as Ed Gein, right?
True. But I was going to ask you, because you had said, even though we're not talking Frankenstein, but thinking of it, where do you think, this just popped in my head, for anybody listening, I'm going to ask Kerrilynn too, where do you think, it was Mary Shelley who wrote Frankenstein, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think she got that idea? Or do you think people actually did that back in the day?
I don't know, but she sure started off science fiction for all of us, didn't she?
Yeah, because, right.
And horror and all of it.
When you think about modern science knowing about obviously there's a big chance for rejection when you get a transplant. But back in the day, like, God forbid somebody tried that, right? Ugh, putting together their own monster, I guess. I don't know. It's quite the thought. Mm-hmm.
I think, do we not get those plops and ahas that just drop into our consciousness because it's part of our plan and path and purpose? And when we're ready and aware, it plops in and away we go. So she was meant to do that for us because that was her path and purpose.
I don't know.
Or was she a rebel and just pushing against the grain?
I don't know. Like, it just, for me, okay, so I think I told you the story before we went live, but I remember one of my friends years ago, I was still living in our previous home, and I make jewelry, and she had these really beautiful beads. There was about 4 or 5 of them, and she gave them to me, and I still haven't used them. And the reason why is, as soon as I picked them up, it was like a movie started playing. And it was the most incredible love coming off of these beads. And I could see, it was really weird. And I wasn't dreaming this. Like, I could see it within the mind's headspace, if you will, of this couple, of when they were together young. And then you got to see them when they were elderly, and him giving this beautiful necklace to, I guess it was his wife. It looked like they were together, and the love that celebrated and showed, like, all this I could get from these beads. And then you hear about people, like, when they get stuff in, antique stores. Now, that's not the only way you can get an attachment, right? Like, you see where I'm going with this? Like, could you get a haunting from taking something from a grave or the body? Like, what do you think?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. I think so.
Like this lady's video I'm going to share here. This was a TikToker, they said, in 2025. I think I told you about this before we went live. Hang on, I don't know if she came up or not. Of course it came up. So the story goes, I don't, there's music in the background, but it's not that long. It's kind of like a nursery rhyme. But they tell the story of, well, I'll let it play itself. I know this one has a story. Oh, I got to unmute it. Sorry.
Candles and saying prayers for the lost. But months later, her followers began to notice something strange. The jewelry she wore in her videos looked too old, too unique.
Just so you guys know, it won't for some reason let me pull it up so I can go back and forth. But this was in 2025, this TikToker who did lives all the time. And then it starts off with looking, it's not her in the picture, but it talks about this necklace, and then it'll explain more about it.
Quiet investigation revealed the truth. Every necklace, every ring had once belonged to someone long buried. Sabrina claimed she found them, but when the police searched her home, they found hundreds of vintage items, all traced back to nearby tombs. After her last post, and the one where she wore a blue jacket, viewers began reporting eerie dreams of cemeteries and faint knocking at night. Some say the souls she disturbed still follow those who watch her videos.
Now, I I don't know if it's for real or not, but did you come across this? Because I did. A lot of people who seem to have taken or to grave robbing, that people that were around the items then seem to almost be haunted by nightmares and things like that. And the person reported too that something, they didn't obviously tell people they had stolen it, but it had been discovered in the research that they did that they didn't necessarily have paranormal activity, but a lot of really bad nightmares, disturbed sleep, bad luck, things like that.
So does that not still constitute a haunting?
I agree. Yeah, 100%. Hello, Michelle Plummer. Mm-hmm. I think it's still a haunting. Yeah, absolutely. Right? So then you got to think, like, why? Is it revenge because it was that somebody had robbed their grave? Is it somebody's energy? They attached themselves to the item that was removed?
Righting a wrong.
Ooh, that's an interesting thought. Right?
Just another perspective.
Yeah. I don't know.
Accountability. Making accountability.
Revenge. You never know, right? I don't know. That's really real. But then you even think about.
So did the people, so she was, had accountability because she was arrested, right? Because she was doing those things.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand, like, if her videos were still accessible, that you would feel they would have taken them down or should have been taken down, maybe. That the people who are still watching the videos even after she was arrested or prior to her being arrested?
It was her name, Sabrina. I want to say LaShawn. Sorry, guys. Like I said, for some reason tonight with TikTok, like normally I can pull it up and get the little bar to start at the beginning. Apparently, she was arrested in 2025. Yeah, that's what people were reporting. Wow. Now, is it just like it's a scary ghost story that people have spread around, like the game of telephone, or?
Right. So it just grows bigger, becomes its own folklore story the more it gets told.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Kasoon. It's middle of the night over in Sri Lanka. So thank you for joining us. And Michelle Wilfong, Doggy Duty, be right back. Now, Naomi says, yes, I think they want it back if it was taken. But that really gives you pause for thought on what your belief systems are, right? Because we talked about, like you said, you want to be cremated and shot out of a cannon. And I said, I don't want any money spent on me. Whatever's the cheapest way to dispose of my body, I have no need for it anymore. Right?
Yeah.
Is it your belief system when you pass away too? Like, because I don't know, like I really mean that. Don't spend any money on me. I don't need this body. You don't need to bury me with a bunch of stuff. But if you really, really believe that that was important, or, you know, you were buried in your favorite outfit, or you're buried with your favorite jewelry or whatever, and then a human being came and stole it, I don't know. It was your belief system. That, you know what I mean? And then the afterlife, we don't think like we did in the role that we played on Earth here.
Well, I've had clients where their loved ones have come in and talked about where they're buried and all that kind of stuff, or choices that were made, and not upset, upset for them, you know, that other people have done something to that. Like I had somebody, every time they put the decorations out or lights out, they would get stolen. So they would talk about that, like how, you know, sad it was or disheartening it was for them. So that protector sort of, or, you know, that mother nurturing or protective instinct was there and wanting to watch over them and still have care and concern for their emotions, you know, that somebody was doing that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you. Or like Naomi said, again, back to Egypt, people believed that for the afterlife, right? We even can see with the mummies too, like the way, royalty or people with money were mummified, like, and buried with all that gold. And look at you, Kerrilynn. Oh wow, Kerrilynn is beautiful today.
Oh. Keeping it weird.
Keeping it weird. I'm wearing the t-shirt that she made, says keeping it weird.
Keep it weird.
Keeping it weird. Yes. So I don't know. There's so many questions about this, and it was an interesting subject to discuss, right? Because I don't know what all the answers are. Mm-mm. So interesting to hear people's thoughts on it, right?
And the original motivations or the motivations for different people, right? And at a time where people were struggling with money or seeing that as an opportunity, and then we did benefit from it, though, with some of it in educating what the body looked like we benefited from that knowledge.
Oh, absolutely. Out of some of the worst evil deeds that have been done, the humanity has benefited, whether it's medicine again, probably. Right. So I don't know. I just feel like my mind's going in circles with this, because you keep, and like I'd mentioned earlier with the blood transfusion or a transplant, because somebody had mentioned that, right? And cellular memory.
Yeah, I think about that.
Yes, you are right, Sean. Thank you for bringing that up. So Sean says Egyptians mummified bodies to heal them to reuse again when they transferred to their soul. I think you're talking about their soul transferring or from one body to the other. And there's people kind of nowadays, right? It's rumored that Walt Disney did this, that they're in cryogenic therapy, that their body's being completely frozen. And then when we get to a place in time where consciousness can be transferred. Yeah.
I just, even when I think about being buried, I just don't want family to feel any sense of responsibility or obligation to care for that, because I don't want them to feel guilt for that or shame. I just want them to be able to have those memories and us doing what we do, right? And how I've raised my kids, they know they'll be able to tap in and connect with me, and I'll be able to connect with them. So not wanting them to have that sense of forced obligation or responsibility to care for some kind of plot or forced to visit in that way.
I agree 100%. That's why, it was my eldest son that came up with this years ago, again, with what we do, and then having worked in the death and dying field in the medical, being a nurse. My eldest son said to me years ago, Mom, can you write me a note, please? Because more than likely, he said, that I will be here without you one day. And so he said, I always want you to be looking over my shoulder. So he had this note. I forget what I wrote on it. It's in my handwriting, and he has it tattooed on the back of his left shoulder. Right?
Nice.
Yeah, but our kiddos grew up with. I always say my kids grew up with the woo woo. I never pushed it on them, but they do, right?
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's not about being airy fairy, but there's a real sense of responsibility, understanding that every thought, word, deed, and action matters, that we're contributing to the collective. Our energy enters a room before we do, and just having accountability.
Agree 100% with all of that, and having those conversations at the appropriate age, right? And I say that not disrespectfully for anybody listening. I say it kind of cutesy like, but you are very much correct in the way that you've worded that yes, not being all airy fairy, but teaching our children that type of thing. So, and a lot of kids you maybe haven't quite heard that, and that's with no finger pointing or anything. I believe it to be so. And again, I know your kiddos are gifted. well, all people I believe are gifted, but it's just the way they
Mhm.
grew up, I guess is what I'm saying.
I think in the research, like there was lots that we haven't talked about as well too. I just coming back to when we're talking about our kids and death and dying and making it age appropriate and all of those things. The lack of funerary rituals. So we talked about the death houses where people were stored before there was any service of those bodies being stolen. Also, when we talk about our dark years, like our recent dark years, 2020, our lockdowns, the grief and was messed up because the rituals were not allowed to happen. How the people in spirit coming through expressing agitation attached to that process. There was a lot like that whole time period really messed everything up with transitions, energetic transitions for souls, with our rituals and how we grieve, communication, all of it.
I'm hearing unfinished business, right? Because
For
it
sure.
wasn't, things didn't end the way they were supposed to be, or exactly what you were saying. This is the fastest 2 hours of my week, I swear. So we are almost out of time. So you guys don't go anywhere though, because the second night of the Outer Realm with the amazing Michelle DeRoche's up next, 9 p.m. Well, actually 9:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And who do you have coming on tomorrow?
Folks, I have Tina Beckham coming on.
Tina.
Tina Beckham is coming on. So she is a soul planner and intuitive. So I forget the two different modalities that she uses and looks at your soul planning. So probably very similar to like Akashic readings and all of that good stuff. And so we're going to be talking about soul planning, and she has a Celtic background. So she's going to talk about the Celtic Halloween traditions that she grew up with and stories that she knows.
I love it.
And then next week, folks, is the UPRN host Halloween party.
I know I'm going to be there.
Yes. You can be there, just two of us for 4 hours, but it sounds like Kerrilynn's going to show up, so that's good.
Yeah. I think everybody's going to show up. I think they are.
It will be fun. It'll be fun if they do.
And I have Brad Burkholder, I believe. I'll touch base with him. I always touch base with my guests, usually the day of or the day before. But I know he's gotten a new paranormal book and lots of spooky stuff associated with it. It was a perfect time and date to have him on. He's been on, this will be the first time on the Angel Rock. So, Kassoon, I'm sorry too, but you can always watch a replay. There's always a replay, always on Facebook, YouTube, also audio anywhere where podcasts and talk radio play. That usually takes a day or two to get up, maybe a little longer sometimes, but Joe uploads them to the server, and yeah, you can find all our archives there.
But girl, we love you too. We love all of you. Like we love the community that is here, and we appreciate all the love and support.
100%. Yes. So, are you taking us out, or you want me to take us out?
Sure. So yes, thank you everybody that was in the chat. Thank you to Joe Montaldo, our network owner, and Michelle DeRoche, our network manager. Thank you to the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast, 107.7 FM, beautiful in New Orleans. Thank you very much, everybody. Good night.
Good night. Did we say something about the shadows and don't follow the whispers?
It's past 9 o'clock. We're going to get in trouble. We need to end.